All right, so on the program this evening, we are continuing the dialogue on occupiers' liability. And this is based on the fact that we have NIRA 2025. That's the Nigerian Insurance Industry Reforms Act. And my guests have been shedding light on this for the past 3 weeks. And we are continuing that dialogue this evening. And joining me on the microphone, Feromi Orishabinone is here. She's multi-client and financial institutions manager for ICO PLC. She's making a return for the fourth time and the fourth installment. Feromi, it's nice to have you this evening. Good evening.
Nice to be back. Good evening.
And how are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
All right, Sam Balogun is also here. He's of the Ikeja and that's Ikeja and downstream unit of ICO. So he's the manager for that particular unit. So it's nice to have you here. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having us.
Great. So let's just connect with both of you. We're talking occupiers' liability. Anytime you talk compulsory insurances, occupiers' liability seems to crop up. So for those who have been missing this installment for the past 3 weeks, Feromi, talk to us really. What is occupiers' liability? Let's start from there.
Okay. So occupiers liability insurance is a compulsory insurance under the NIRA, that is NIRA 2025, that provides compensation to third parties for death, bodily injury, or property damage suffered while on premises open to the public. So NIRA 2025 brought up this policy to strengthen reinforcements to ensure that victims of building-related accidents are promptly compensated and also protected from, crippling liability claims, and that's for the occupiers, obviously, so that they are protected from, crippling liability claims that could, lead to death and all of those things.
And I need you to expand this further a bit. So when we say public buildings, what are we referring to here? Can you just give us examples?
All right. So public buildings here refers to premises that are open to the public. That is, premises that are accessible by the public, and this could be offices, this could be banks, this could be schools, hospitals, shopping malls, hotels, event centers, cinemas, religious buildings, and government facilities.
So you're saying that if anyone goes to a shopping mall, for instance, and while he's doing his shopping, he slips and falls and injures his leg,
yes,
he's entitled to some claims?
Yes, he's entitled to some compensation from this policy. Yes.
Wow. So that means that shopping mall should have had an occupiers liability.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Let's get to Sam. And I'm just curious, really, because I know that NIRA, that's the Nigerian Insurance Industry Act 2025, retained occupiers liability as a compulsory insurance. Is that correct?
Yes.
Why is this so?
Okay, so the NIRA retained and reinforced this insurance because public buildings pose recurring risks to human life and property, and the Act recognizes that relying on litigation alone could create a slow and unfair process to the victims, and so mandatory insurance ensures immediate financial relief. It also ensures social justice and improved public safety standards nationwide.
All right. So who qualifies as an occupier under this kind of act that we're talking about? Who can we say is an occupier? Feromi.
Okay, so under this policy, an occupier is any individual or entity that owns, controls, or manages or has any form of responsibility for buildings that are accessible to the public. NIRA 2025 focuses on control, not specifically ownership. So if a facility manager, an agent, or a religious body that is in charge or in control of a building that is accessible to the public, they are liable to take up this policy.
Right. So let's reflect a bit, because you just mentioned something that relates to religion now, right?
Yes.
So can religious institutions, can they be exempted from this NIRA Act on occupiers liability?
No, religious organizations are not, or religious institutions rather, they are not exempt from this policy because their spaces are also being accessed by the public, because they have influx of the public into the premises, so they should also take up these policy, because they are equally required to protect the what's the word I'm looking for now?
Their worshippers.
Yes, their worshippers.
Okay.
When they are on the premises.
All right. So those of you listening to us this evening, please endeavor to tell your pastor, okay, that once you are running a church, it's a public place, right?
It is.
And that means you must put in place an occupier's liability. Otherwise, you'll be liable under the law, right?
Correct.
If anything happens.
Correct.
Sam, can one policy cover multiple locations? Is it possible?
Yes, it is. One policy can cover multiple locations. However, this is subject to disclosure and underwriting approval, and that's to ensure that each location meets the NERA 2025 standards and the commensurate premium is paid as well.
All right. So we're saying here that if you have Sam Balogun Enterprise, one in Ikeja, another branch in Shomolu, another one in Lagos Island, you're saying you can use one policy to cover all of them?
Yes, as long as all of the premises to be covered are declared.
Okay. All right. So what happens if risks are, I'm just curious now, if risks are not properly disclosed, if they are not disclosed, what happens then?
Well, failure to disclose material facts or material risks or specific locations during onboarding amounts to non-disclosure or misrepresentation. And under insurance law, this may render the policy void from inception, or it can allow the insurer to repudiate claims arising from undisclosed risk or location. The insurer may also reduce claim payments or impose additional premium or even cancel the policy altogether. And in such cases, the occupier bears full financial and legal responsibility for third-party injuries, deaths, and any resulting property damage.
So all risks must be disclosed?
It must be disclosed.
All right.
From the start.
All right. So I needed to differentiate now between an occupier's liability insurance and a public liability insurance. Feromi, talk to us.
All right. So an occupier's liability insurance is designed to protect people who visit a specific location, such as obviously a shopping mall, a hospital rather, a school, a church, a hotel, an office complex, or a factory. So if a visitor slips, falls, gets injured, or suffers any form of property damage,
right,
because the premises are unsafe or poorly maintained, this policy will obviously compensate. This policy will respond. Public liability insurance, on the other hand, is broader in scope because it covers third-party injury or property damage arising from a business general operations, including, off-site activities, events, exhibitions, or outreach programs. All of these are covered by the public liability policy. So we see that the public liability has
is a broader,
provides broader coverage.
Okay.
It's a wider policy than compared to the occupier's liability.
So occupier's liability is limited.
Yes, because it covers just a specific location. Yes, exactly.
Which is the building. Once you're within the building, if you slip, you injure, or you fall head down and all that kind,
yes,
you can get compensation.
Yes.
But if you're outside the building, nothing happens.
Yes, so for public liability, coverage extends beyond just the premises.
Okay.
Coverage could extend, coverage does extend beyond the premises to overall activities that are, performed by the insured.
Right.
Yes.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. We're talking occupiers liability this evening, and it's a dialogue we started about 3 weeks back, and we are continuing that dialogue with Oluwaferomi Orishabinone, who is a multi-client and financial institutions manager for ICO PLC. I also have in the building as well Sam Balogun, who is Ikeja and that's Ikeja downstream manager for ICO PLC. A brief break. When we return, we'll talk about the differences between occupiers insurance policy and the employer's liability. I know that I think we touched a little bit on that sometime about 2 weeks back. Of course, my guest will be shedding light on that. And then we'll also try to draw some levels of comparison between builders' liability insurance and occupiers' liability. All these and much more will still be part of the program. And we'll also be hearing from you too on 08099120777. A brief break. We will be back.
Wow! Wow, what just happened?
What kind of question is that? Can't you see?
Wow, that looks like a brand new SUV. What kind of vehicle is that?
What kind of question is that? Can't you see?
Was it the motorcycle that caused it? Or the cooling van?
What kind of question is that? Can't you see?
But why is that man smiling and pressing his phone instead of pressing that careless man's face against the car's floorboard?
And what kind of question is that? Can't you see?
But what kind of man is that?
Wait, seriously, what kind of man is that?
Yes, that's the kind of man that has prepared for the unexpected. The man that knows that when accident happens, ICO Auto Insurance Plan keeps you covered, so you don't have to worry. Get the ICO Auto Insurance Plan today. Call us on 0700 iContact, that is 0700 2442 668228, or visit www.icoplc.com to learn more. ICO Insurance, your stable friend, yesterday, today, and always.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Insurance on the Move is the program, and I still have with me in the building Oluwaferomi Orishabinone of ICO PLC. Same for Sam Balogun. Both of them, they are here to just give us one or two things that we need to know that relates to occupiers' liability. Getting back to the roads, and I can tell you, Victoria Island Corridor report from the control room says traffic is very, very busy, building up from Adetokunbo, Ademola, proceeding towards Civic Center and the Ram Bridge. This is due to high influx and, of course, peak hour rush. Similarly, traffic is intense. That is on Sanusi Fafunwa Road, heading to Akin Adeshola Bridge. And this is compounded by lane alternation on the bridge at the intersection point. So that's what's happening there. But we have traffic managers on ground managing the situation as well. You can also share your own travel experience with us. That's in addition to the fact that you want to ask any insurance question. You can feel free to connect with us this evening. All right, let's get back to the conversation. So we're looking at differences because you guys have been giving us a whole lot of interesting dimension to occupiers liability. But I need Feremi to also differentiate between occupiers liability insurance and employers liability insurance. Talk to me.
All right, so occupiers liability insurance focuses on protecting visitors, customers, patients, worshippers, obviously, depending on the building that we're talking of here, students and other members of the public who lawfully enter a building.
Okay.
So it responds when such people, suffer injury, suffer death, or property damage due to hazards within the premises.
All right.
Employers' liability insurance, on the other hand, is meant strictly for the employees. It covers injuries, occupational diseases, disabilities, or deaths suffered by the employees of the insured in the course of their employment. So while occupiers' liability, protects third parties, employers' liability protects the staff.
All right.
So the two policies address different legal responsibilities and cannot be replaced with each other.
All right, then let's talk about similarities now and comparisons now. So, Sam, any comparison between the builder's liability and the occupier's liability insurance? Because I understand both of them are compulsory under the NERA Act.
Yes, they are.
All right, talk to me. Any comparison?
Yeah, so the builder's liability insurance applies during the construction, renovation, or alteration of a building, and it covers legal liability arising from construction activities such as injuries to passerby.
Okay, just a second. Let's see if we can take this call. Hello there. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
All right. B, you need to speak up a bit. You are a bit low. Talk to me.
Okay, are you hearing me now? Is it better?
A bit better, but go ahead.
Okay, I just guess it's my phone.
Okay.
So I just want to ask, can someone have different types of insurance policies with ICO? Like you have car insurance, you have burglary, all different types. Can you have them together? Or is there
like a limit?
I said, can you have different types of insurance covered?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Or is there like a particular one that covers everything?
Okay.
Including occupiers, liability, and the rest.
All right. Thank you so much, Abi, for that question. Okay. So, if I were to return to that and ask that question, is there a one-size-fits-all kind of insurance policy, an umbrella insurance policy, or you can buy different types of insurance products?
Well, Correctly, there is no one size fits all kind of policy, and especially for a compulsory insurance that we're talking about, they are usually taking a loan.
Okay.
However, we have some other policies that can be taken alongside others. We have the one in your jingle, the fire and burglary policy.
Yeah.
And we have some specifically for, industrial activities such as the industrial oil rigs that covers fire, burglary, goods in transit, and all kinds of policies.
All right, 08099120777. So B, what I would tell you and others listening to us, of course you are free because of the risks that you're exposed to. You can take as many insurance policies as you would like, right? So if you can buy 5 products, right? All ranging for different kinds of things. Is that not correct, Feromi?
Correct.
All right. There's a question here. It says, good evening, Traffic Radio. I want to ask the guests, what simple steps can property owners take today to reduce occupiers' liability risks? Jadisola is sending that one in. Sam, you want to respond to that?
Oh yes. So the word here is you act as if you are not even insured. And what would you even do when you're not insured to your premise? It's as simple as putting warning signs where they should be put. Do not cross, or beware of dogs, or slippery floor, be careful. Warning signs and signs majorly.
Right.
Yeah, they're the most basic. Good risk management.
All right.
Yes.
There's a one interesting question here. It says, good evening, Mr. Victor and your guests from ICO. It says, if the accident happens outside the gate but still near the premises, does the liability still fall under occupiers liability? Edward, he sent that one in. Feromi,
That's a tricky.
it's a tricky one, right?
Quite tricky.
That's a tricky one because then we need to prove that.
Proximity.
Proximity.
We need to prove proximity.
Yeah, we need to prove proximity. Because
Okay.
Yeah, and as well, we need to be able to establish negligence.
All right.
Yes.
That this occurred as a result of the negligence of the occupier.
So let's say, outside the staircase now, or those steps when you are entering a building, it's still part of the building. isn't it?
Proximity. Yes,
It's still part of the
it
building.
is.
So in that case, it will still work. then.
definitely the policy will pay.
All right. 08099120777. This one says, are hospitals and clinics required to have this type of insurance? You didn't put your name. Thank you so much. But I think so.
Yes, they are.
They should, right?
They should.
This one says, good evening. How long does it really take for a claim under this policy to be settled? Michael from Ogba.
It should not take that long, actually. It doesn't take that long. In fact, once all the documents that are required to process the claim have been submitted, especially to ICO Insurance, we should be able to pay out in 48 hours.
In 48 hours. That should be settled, right? Well, this one says, hello, LTR. Says, can landlords require tenants to have this insurance before renting commercial spaces? Adefemi Adeyemi is sending that one in. Adefemi, I don't think you're understanding. I don't think you understand this very well. But let me leave Sam to respond to that. Sam?
Okay, so
will landlords require their tenants to have this insurance policy?
Well, as long as the occupiers, it's not. It depends on the agreement between the landlord and tenant. However, the key here is the premises open to public access? If it is, there has to be an occupier's liability in place, whether from the landlord or from tenant.
Yes.
Right. All right. Let's begin to take this home this evening. So, I need you to just explain quickly what fire service maintenance fund is under this NERA 2025. What does it mean, really? Fire service maintenance.
Yeah, so the Fire Service Maintenance Fund is a statutory fund as established under the NERA 2025, and it's created to support the operation and effectiveness of the fire service agencies in Nigeria.
Okay.
And insurance companies are required to contribute a specific proportion, which is 0.25% of their net premium,
right.
Derived from their fire-related policies into this fund. And the purpose is primarily to improve fire prevention,
right.
Response capacity, training, equipment, fire stations, and emergency infrastructure worldwide.
And,
nationwide, rather.
Feromi, for any company that fails to comply, any penalties?
Failure by any insurance company to remit this required contribution to the fire service fund is treated as a regulatory breach, and such default obviously attracts penalties which will be imposed by the regulator,
All right.
NICO.
Let's begin to wrap this all up now. Sam, for those who would like to pick up this product from ICO, what should they do?
Yeah, it's very easy. You would need a completed proposal form.
Correct.
You need to provide a valid means of identification.
All right.
And a copy of CAC documents for corporate entities, as well as utility bill for physical address verification.
All right, then. Okay, we'll leave it at that for now. And those who want to contact ICO, they can just simply go to your website, right?
Yes, correct.
Yes.
www.icoplc.com, or
Right.
they could send us an email via icontact@icoplc.com, or they could walk into any of our branches, into any of our offices nationwide, and
Right.
somebody will be available to speak to them.
Okay, then. That's so nice. So it's nice having both of you in the studios. Thank you so much for being here this evening.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you for having
us.
All right, it has been a very lovely month with the duo of Sam Balogun and, of course, Oluwaferomi Orishabinone, both of them from ICO. We're going to be expecting another team from next week, but I want to appreciate both of you for making time to be here all through. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Okay, then, so we have to go. Mike James has produced the program this evening. Maximum shout out going out to Definite Media Concept for putting all of this together. Next Thursday, 6:30, the program makes a return, but till then, I'm Victor Terry. Have a splendid evening. Bye.